the police changed where they were going to be in those days following that terrorist attack, because they knew that those people, the Jewish community, would be feeling unsafe.
Assembly Member Bakari.
Thank you. Unlike some members here, I don't have a massive ego. I know we have a job to do, and that is to represent Londoners, all Londoners. And I know that the London Assembly and its members have a responsibility to make sure that we do nothing or say nothing that will divide our communities. I am incredibly worried by some of the rhetoric and some of the things that have been said today already that is going to cause real tension in our communities. We do not need that. We definitely do not need that. We need freedom of speech. We need to make sure that we have freedom of protest. We need to make sure we have freedom of worship. We need to make sure we have freedom to live in peace. And we stand with our Jewish communities in the wake of that horrific attack. And we must do all we can to heal the divisions and to make sure that communities of faith are safe from terror attacks against places of worship, whether they are synagogues or mosques. Now, Mr. Mayor, do you support...
Buckle up, guys. Today we are going to break down a powerful exchange inside the chamber. Tensions rise as community safety becomes the main focus after a recent terror attack. The mayor and assembly members debate how leadership must respond in moments when the public feels vulnerable. This opening sets the tone for everything that follows, highlighting the pressure on London leaders. What is said behind the microphone has real-world impact on safety and trust.
The Home Secretary's decision to give police the power to decide how citizens are allowed to protest at this decision may actually increase tensions and potentially cause a breakdown of trust.
Sorry, I'm not sure what powers she means.
The Home Secretary has been given a decision to give police the power to decide how citizens are allowed to protest. And how do you feel this is going to impact the increased tensions that this is going to have, and even increased tension between the police and a breakdown of a potential trust?
Yeah, Chair, I've not seen any details of any plans, and I'll examine them when I see them and stuff. But I'm not sure if they've been published. If they have, I've not seen them.
Okay, we've now got... Sorry, Assembly Member Clarke, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that. I just want to take a step back, because I think what's always been apparent to me as somebody who represents the largest Jewish population in the country is the time you've spent with the Jewish community, whether that's before a terrorist attacks of October the 7th or after. I've been in Barnet with you when you've walked alongside us with the police. I've visited synagogues with you. I know you.
Assembly Member Bari steps in, urging members to stop turning community concerns into political battles. She warns that careless rhetoric risks inflaming tensions across London when people need calm, clarity, and unity. Bari stresses fundamental rights: freedom of speech, protest, worship, and the ability to live peacefully. She calls for leadership that uses its voice responsibly, especially when communities are already shaken and looking for direction from those in power.
We've had Seder dinners with local families. It's those sorts of actions that show to me what you do with every other London community, is that you're with them, you connect with them, and you're with them at all times. And I think this conversation has been really disappointing, that it seems to me that some members around this table have decided to highlight one community and use that as some sort of political football, and I think it's profoundly unfair. But moving on from that, I really want to thank you and your office, because immediately following that horrific terrorist incident in Manchester, I had a phone call from your office. Barry Rawlings, the leader of Barnet Council, had a phone call from your office to check in, to see what more do we need in Barnet, because you knew it was important, and it is important. But I'm coming on to my question. The following morning, I was out for a walk with the police in Golders Green with Sarah Sackman, the local MP, and with Councillor Sarah Conway, who's our lead member for community safety in Barnet. And the three of us walked with police for, I don't know, probably a couple of hours, walking past Jewish sites, but also walking Golders Green High Street, where there's a number of charities and shops, and, you know, that's where people are. And what really struck me was with how many people stopped their cars, how many people stopped us in the street just to thank the police officers for being there. And the following evening, I joined a local shul for Shabbat prayers. And the same thing happened. It was It was person after person just stopping, thanking the police for being there. And so I wonder if you would join me in thanking the police for stepping up immediately. A lot of them cancelled annual leave.
Assemblymember Clarke delivers a grounded and emotional perspective. Drawing from her work representing the country's largest Jewish population, she describes walking with police through Barnet and seeing residents thank officers for stepping up immediately after the attack. Clarke emphasizes that real leadership is demonstrated through actions, not political grandstanding. Her message is that support means being present with communities in their most vulnerable moments, not just making statements in the
They changed their working patterns. The police changed where they were going to be in those days following that terrorist attack, because they knew that those people, the Jewish community, would be feeling unsafe, and that there was also possibly a threat to them. But that's what they did. They stepped up, they stepped out, and they were there. And it really struck me just how many people stopped to thank them.
Well, thanks for your comments. I spent a lot of time this week with the leader of Barnet Council, in fact yesterday, because she'll be aware that the biggest Jewish community between Tel Aviv and New York is in Barnet. A huge community. For obvious reasons, there's a heightened sense of fear. And by the way, I'm not divulging confidences. After every terror attack, there's a fear of a copycat terror attack, which is why increased field policing is so important. And also, by the way, she'll know, because of the history Jewish people have, they know the need for additional security because they can't rely upon the state. History tells them that. And that's one of the reasons why the Community Security Trust was set up, and they do a brilliant job. She will also know from work in Barnet, the CST has given advice to Muslim communities, synagogues given advice to mosques, how they can help each other to keep other places of worship safe as well. And she will also be aware that in her wonderful community of Barnet, you had Muslim representatives also going to show a hand of friendship to Jewish communities because they understood the fear there was. Wouldn't it have been far better to talk about that rather than fueling division, as some members of the Assembly appeared to want to do? I'm also quite clear, though, about this. You know, the police may be imperfect, there may be institutional problems in the police service, but I see on a daily basis the difference they make to communities like hers, where people feel safer when they see a police officer. But the Commissioner himself was out and about. I think he went to shul as well. I think it's Hedgen, in relation to which God he worships, but that's another story. But he was there to show solidarity, but also to show the importance of security to that community.
Thank you for that.
Okay, on this
clip for the mayor responds by highlighting why increased security was necessary and why the Jewish community understands the risks rooted in history. He praises the Community Security Trust's work and notes how Jewish and Muslim communities in Barnet supported one another, showing unity where others attempted to spark division. He acknowledges imperfections within policing but stresses that their presence genuinely increases community confidence. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next video.